All right, ladies and gentlemen, good day. It's a beautiful day here in Seattle. I'm sure I have two guests that they live in a beautiful places too, so I'm sure they have beautiful scenery. Uh, and I do say it's a beautiful day here in Seattle, even though it's kind of gray, but it's still pretty. It is. It's a blessing to be here. Uh, well, really quickly, welcome to Savvy. I really appreciate that you guys are here today with us. Today. I'm a little bit nervous, as you can see. To your right, we have our chat box. If you have any questions or you have any conversation, I already see a lot of action. Welcome, Brad. Welcome, John. Welcome, Zan. Welcome, Meredith. Dave, thank you for being here. Of course, Ben Jones is always here. Super excited. If you have any questions during the event, make sure to write it in the very bottom area where it says ask questions. We do ask you to share the event if you can. Today's agenda is going to be around 30-40 minutes. It's really cool. We're going to be doing like a distillery tour. And then we'll share some contact. That's our infomercial part. And then we'll go through 15-20 minutes if we have time to do our Rhum o'clock. All right, let's deep dive. Today's main guests are... No, my dog.
Main guest, indeed.
I need some help. Let me tell my son to help me. Fede, I need your help. Production manager, help with the dog. That's the problem of doing the live stream from the living room. And every time, Fede. All right.
Some holiday Santa Claus will see there.
Or okay. Okay, my production team is kind of working. Anyways, today's main topic is Rhum J.M Distillery Tour. We have two special guests, Karine Lassalle, and we have Kyowa Brent, who are here with us. Let me bring them here because they are the main reason we're here. Hi, Karine. Hi, Kyowa.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
I think you have heard my dog really well, so very exciting.
Yeah. You cried so much for it.
Today we actually also, or yesterday, we featured Karine in the rumlab.com, and I want to share, she was our guest interview. We shared it to everyone who received our daily our weekly newsletter. You were able to read it, but if you have not, here it is. If you go to rumlab.com, you'll see her. She's right on the very beginning. And here's her beautiful picture with a few of the questions that questions and answers that she responded. But you can see the entire interview a little bit later. Or just go to rumlab.com. I'll put a link right now in the next few minutes so you can go directly to the interview. All right. Well, Karine and Kyo, I'm super thankful for you guys giving me the opportunity of doing a distillery tour through Rhum J.M. So if we can, I think before we start, Karine, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and Kyowa too? Let's start with Karine. So people who don't know who's Karine Lassalle, a very important person in Rhum J.M. Tell us who she is, what do you do, and what has been what brought you to Rhum?
Hello, everybody. I'm Karine Lassalle, and I was born in the southwest of France, in a region where wines and spirits and good food are the masters. And I have a degree in chemistry with the specialty of perfume and flavors, and I'm a nose. And initially, I wanted to work in a perfume industry, but now I discover spirits industry when I visited Martinique for a trip, and I loved rum now, and at first, I worked on the creation of 54 aromas of the kits, aromatic kits, the noise of whiskey of the company Édition Jaune Noir. It's a good kit to training your noise to taste, and after you taste flavors on your different spirits and whiskey or rum or wines. And with this experience, I perfected my skills in the tasting of spirits. And then I made several trips to Martinique to meet the professional of agricole rum. And as time went by, I managed to get a job in one of the biggest distillery of the island. And I worked during 2 years for Rhum HSE in Martinique. And after, I joining the Rhum J.M brand and team. And since 2017, I'm a master blender of Rhum J.M at Rhum J.M, and I worked during 1 year and a half with the last master blender, Nazer Kanatus. He translate me the knowledge of Rhum J.M and the spirit of this brand and the history of this brand. And now I try to continue to produce a big this our aged rum, white and aged rum with a quality again and again and again and again.
Petty, you're muted.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, I want you to read my lips. All right, now.
It's not hard enough already.
Not possible for me.
So you mentioned you started in the perfume industry,
Yes.
or you wanted to work in the perfume industry. Then you went. Did you work at a company that was doing the scents, like oils to preg, or that was something that you had it as a hobby? Sorry, I did not understand that part.
She went to school for perfume. Tu veux fait perfume pour travailler. Pourquoi tu changé à Rome?
I changed because in 2011 I visited Martinique and I visited a distillery in Martinique, and at this time I knew I started my work on Édition Jean Lenoir, and I discovered spirits in this work, in this job, this post for Édition Jean Lenoir, and now I prefer spirits than the perfume. It's the my background is a mix of a lot of rock and a lot of luck, because I have a luck to I'm a lucky girl because I met a good professional people in a rum, and I discover this universe of rum, and now I prefer than the perfume.
So it was the perfect timing, I think, with her with the job with the Nose of Whiskey, and that was ending, and she went to Martinique, and ironically, I purchased Le Nez de Whiskey and used it for my own personal training long before I ever knew Karine, and long before I even knew that she consulted and and created those aromas. So it's all a small world.
I have not seen those aromas, and I've seen the Rum Academy kit. I think so. And that kid sounds very enticing to me. Kyowa, tell us a little bit about yourself. I love the Christmas tree in the background. But tell us a little bit more about your professional life.
Well, I am Karine's biggest fan, so that's why I'm here. I live in Los Angeles. I'm currently here in Los Angeles, so in the same coast as Federico, just a little further south. And, you know, I'm spending a lot of time at home this year because of everything. So I really went for the decorating since I get to enjoy it. So I figured I'd show it off because I'm not showing it off to anybody else this year. I was in the hospitality. I've been in the hospitality and food and beverage industry for over 20 years, doing everything from managing restaurants and bars to washing dishes to hostessing to bar backing to bartending. And eventually, about 15 years ago, made my way to Los Angeles and ran a bunch of bars there. At which point I fell in love with rum agricole, and specifically Rhum J.M was my first love. And it was a dream of mine to be able to work with Rhum J.M and go to Martinique. And eventually I elbowed my way into working with Ben Jones, who is the great grandnephew of Omer Clement, who is my boss. And eventually I drove him so crazy that he gave me a job. And here we are 6 years later. And I've spent the last 6 years traveling the country trying to get bartenders to know what tea punch is. So
That's excellent. Excellent. I think every time I see you that you're working on one of the rum festivals, I love to ask for you to do me a tea punch. You always do them perfectly. And I go with the excuse that I'm going to do a video, but at the end it's me. I just want a cocktail. And you have that perfection of having that cocktail, just ideal. Anyways.
Well, that just means that we have the same taste, because there's no perfect tea punch. It's just what's perfect to you. And so we must like the same type of tea punch.
Yeah. You're completely, those are words of wisdom. You're completely right. I think we should start doing the distillery tour. I'm sure we have people interested. They're taking some time from their break. Karine, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, I just needed that yes. Thank you. All right, let's start with.
Yes, sorry.
No. We have 10 different clips that we're going to be sharing, so you can all see it. And then we'll be talking about every single clip. I do have some questions already.
Bonjour, bienvenue à la distillerie J.M. Karine Lassalle, je suis maître de chez la distillerie depuis janvier 2017. J'ai travaillé pendant 1 an et demi avec Nazar Kanatous, notre ancien maître de chez, qui m'a formé au savoir-faire ancestral de J.M. Et aujourd'hui, on va venir faire un petit tour de la distillerie. Donc, nous ne sommes pas en période de production. Donc, nous sommes en période de maintenance. Donc, vous allez voir beaucoup de travaux, beaucoup d'amélioration de nos process. Donc, on va faire un petit tour. Allez, on y va.
All right.
It's better in French for me.
That was good. So the question that I had written down is, what are the test machines, and why do they call them the Mount Pelee Mountains? Is that because is the machine called the Mount Pelee Mountain, or the machinery, and because of the mountain, the volcanic mountain that you're right next or basically on?
I think Federico, yeah, the next video is the one where they show the mountain. So I think the next video shows the mountain. So I think that's what you're talking about. Let's watch the next one.
Let's see this. Oh,
There. There, yeah. So that was Mount Pelee in the background, which is the famous volcano, which is the background Federico has us floating in front of. And that is them testing the machines because it is the off season right now. We're not allowed to distill because of AOC rules. We only can produce during the dry season. So we'll start in the middle of January producing at JM. So right now it's just maintenance period. And so they're testing all of the machines. That specific machine is where we collect all the sugar cane that's dumped and then processed and cut to go into the mills. So
that is the crusher.
That is the first step. Yes, that's the first step before the first step of crushing before all of the sugar cane runs through the mills, which get smaller and smaller, which we'll see shortly.
Yes,
okay.
Our production it's with the rules of AOC Rhum, and in these rules we need to we must to start the production. We harvest is in between January 1st to 31 August. It's the season of the AOC Rhum, legal season. And we at GM, we start in the middle of January, and the end of the harvest, it's June, approximately June. And now we repair, we adjust our machines, and we just start this day. For the movie, it's the first day to test our machine after the adjust.
And why do, this is a very superficial question, why so is everything painted red everywhere in Rhum JM?
Yes.
Historical, the color of Rhum JM, it's blue blue and yellow. But after 2012, we decided to renove the distillery, and we chose red and black. And look, my desk is black and red, and
wow.
My office, it's our office is black and red. The distillery black and red, and it's a color of GM now.
Well, red is the color of passion, right? So I'm sure there's like a lot of like love and passion happening in Rhum JM all day
yes,
long.
Passion and character, and
it's also
it's black.
Go ahead, Karine. Sorry.
No,
it's also
black. It's
green.
like a volcano.
Oh yeah.
And if you go to GM, whenever you go, Federico, and you drive, everything is green. It's in the middle of a jungle. So the opposite color on the color spectrum of green is red. So it's perfect contrast when you're driving into the sea of green. It's the most green place you've ever seen. And you see these red roofs of the distillery, and the red and the green are so perfect together that it's like a perfect contrast. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it always caught my attention, and this was the perfect moment to ask. All right, let's go to video number 3.
Alors voilà, hors période de production, nous sommes en pleine maintenance. Donc aujourd'hui, voilà, nous construisons de nouvelles cuves de fermentation. On va voir un peu plus loin. Ici, vous avez, on monte sur la structure de nos moulins. Donc voici nos moulins, une grande grue pour des nouveaux travaux. Voici le gros silo noir et rouge, c'est là où la canne tombe pendant la période de production. Et ensuite nous avons ici les moulins, notre chaîne de moulins, le premier moulin, le second et le troisième. Donc vous entendez beaucoup de visseuses, de ponceuses, la totale. Voilà. pour arriver au niveau des cuves de fermentation où effectivement nous sommes en train d'en installer de nouvelles. Donc on va aller voir ça. Voilà, pour avoir un peu plus de matériel en campagne de production. Voilà, une distillerie c'est aussi ça, ça vit. Ça vit, il y a de la maintenance, il y a de l'amélioration. On a des gars qui travaillent à fond avant le mois de janvier, le début de la campagne.
Wow, that was awesome. You said there's 3 mills, right? So it goes through one process, then it crushes again, and then crush. Like, is it 3 crush? Like the crush,
Yes.
it crushes the machine 3 times.
Yes, 3 times. At the first mill, we crush sugar cane. We obtain a pure juice cane, and we measure a degree brix. It's the concentration of sugar on the juice. It's very important for our rendement in English. I don't know. And after the first meal, we add the water because the sugar cane is like a spoon.